Okay, so I've been going through some trouble recently, and I thought that should get back on this YouTube thing. So consider this to be like some kind of open journal entry or like an open letter to myself, and hopefully it will help you as well. So, what I want to talk about today is I think you'll already know about this if you're watching this content, but the idea of identity in your life, the idea of identity specifically in building and destroying habits, the idea of, you know, basing your identity around your worldview, and especially what I am most passionate about is the role in identity in building your future self. So it's obvious that your past can't be controlled, but you have at least I would say 80% control over your future self. Like 20% you don't really know. Like things happen in life and you just gotta let it go. But that 80% you gotta maximize your own growth, because we're here in life for only like a very small time. Like if you imagine in the cosmic scale of the universe, our lifespans are like this little blip. It's like nothing basically. Like 80 years compared to, like, for example, the sun, it's basically like a single second. Like your life, unless you make it so, it means nothing. Like that's insane. So what I want for this YouTube channel is kind of to help people shape their identities in some sort of way, like some way to improve their future self. And I hope to do it like with kind of my personal interests. So I hope to talk about like a little bit of programming, like educational stuff, weightlifting, sports, horse riding, hacking. Like it's all these little skills that I think could help people build their identities, and especially build mine as well, because I'm really inspired to get into this whole YouTube thing. So getting back to where I was, sorry, that was a bit of a you know that was me going on to a rant, but never mind. So let's get back to the topic, right? So the concept of identities for building and breaking habits is talked in this book. I hope you can see it. It's called Atomic Habits. Excellent book. So we all know that you can cause new habits to be formed. I mean, habits, they have a sort of operation to them, like they have a sort of framework. So you can build habits by making new cues, making new routines, and making new rewards. So it's basically like this whole cycle thing. So it starts with your cue, it goes to your routine, and then you get a reward. So for example, let's give an example. So for example, you're an avid gamer, okay? I don't know, like I haven't played games in years, but let's say Fortnite. Not Fortnite, for that's cringe. Okay. Let's imagine GTA, okay. GTA 5. You have grown addicted to it. Like how? Like how did that get implanted in your brain? Like why is that you suddenly have the urge to play video games? For example, my grandfather, he wouldn't have the urge to play video games. Why? He never played it before. So when you first turn on your PlayStation or whatever, no, like whenever you finally you first get your game, you just buy it off Amazon or whatever. You take it, you insert it into your PlayStation or whatever, and that's your cue. Like you bought it, you you're using it for entertainment. Video games are a source of pleasure. So a cue would grow out of that. That would mean that whenever you're feeling bored, or whenever like you need comfort, you are sort of gravitated towards that video game. Then while doing it, there is a routine. And routine is basically playing the video game. So I know this guy, he has like, I think like, he has 2000 hours in GTA, which is insane. Like, why would you spend 2000 hours on something that wouldn't give you any like feasible real life consequence? And we'll get to that. That's called the reward. So this we have this sort of a routine. The routine is playing it, and by playing it, you sort of get this dopamine spikes. You like, wow, this is really fun. Like, I'm immersed in this new world. So you sort of get into that cycle where like you keep on wanting to do it again and again because of routine, obviously. Then there's the reward. The reward is just what I talked about. It's the memories, it's the, the dopamine spikes you get whenever you get a win. Like whenever you, I don't know, I haven't played GTA before, but you like, for example, you complete a mission or whatever, you like rank up, you get some reward, and that creates this endless cycle loop. Your brain biologically is tuned to create these like habitual loops. There's like a lot of neurochemistry for it. Like, for example, there's like the basal ganglia, routine motors, like there's like a brain network. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah, it's like it's hardwired into you, man. It's like you need this kind of stuff, and you can't really blame it at all, since that's the reason why you're surviving. That's the reason why you get things done, basically. So you have to learn to sort of use it as a tool rather than like a burden. So you could use it like the same cue routine loop for building new good habits. For example, recently I started touch typing, which is like typing really fast. I'm at around 90%, 90 words per minute right now. So I just thought, like, it'd be cool if I can get myself to be a bit faster. So I decided that every day for the next, I don't know, like 6 months, to type for about 10 minutes a day on this website. And I did that every day, like every single day. That was my routine. Like every time I open the computer, I am typing. There's like no excuses. And that eventually just became this sort of, loop. It's become a habit. Habits, man, like they're so powerful, bro. Like at some point, you wouldn't even need to think to get something done. Like how insane is that, right? It's like you don't even need to put the effort. Like David Goggins, for example, he does need to put effort in like running every day, but at this point it's just like normal. His brain has been like, okay, fine, if we are going to wear the running shoes, that means we're running. There's no exceptions. However, here comes my problem. Like, I have implemented this routine reward kind of system in my life, and it's been very effective for building habits. However, for breaking habits, it's been quite an issue. So I researched more deeply into it. There's another book. Uh, it's called The Power of Habits. It's another book. It's like really good. I actually like it as much as Atomic Habits. It's pretty good, and it's also talked about in Atomic Habits as well. It says, there is a few rules for habit building in here. The best way to shape yourself to build and break new habits is to shape your identity. It's chapter 2 of this book. Highly recommend you get it. It's really nice. So, identity, okay? This is my issue. I tried journaling about this, thinking about my identity and trying to break my bad habits, which are at the moment internet usage and junk food. So, I wrote quite a few stuff about it. For example, I said I don't use social media. I just don't. I don't eat junk food because I want to be that, lean guy, like all this, yeah, those ripped people. And that is what I visualize for my future self. That's my identity now. Like, I think of myself as my future self. I don't think of myself as February 15th, Aban 2022. I think of myself as January 5th, 2030, Aban. Like years down the line. That's my planning. However, there is a problem. There is obviously a problem here. And I think it's that even if I write it, it's not completely internalized. Unless the whole identity concept is wrong, but it's I doubt that because like it gets kept on like repeated in all these self improvement places, the forums, the videos and stuff. It could possibly just not work for me, but I don't know. I'm going to keep trying. So the problem for me is whenever I do say these things, I write them. It just all makes sense in my brain, right? It just completely makes sense. I know. I completely internalize that. However, in the moment where you are triggered, like you see the trigger, like for example, a huge bucket of KFC, whatever it is. I promised myself the week before that I would not eat junk food, but I still resort back to it. Like, why? Why does my brain do that? Even though it's a part of my routine, my habitual system, my productivity workflow, whatever, like removing the triggers, deleting the apps, whatever, it still keeps coming back. It's like I transform into a completely different person. And that's extremely concerning for me. If I can't become the future self that I want to be because I don't implement slash break the habits, that means all of this is worthless. Even the new skills I build, it will still be, a little bit up, a little bit down, two steps forward, two steps back. I'm still gonna be over here. If I need myself to raise like this, I need to increase everything. I need to break the bad habits, uh, build new good habits, just holistically develop, if that makes sense. Just improve myself totally in every sphere. And I know it's going to take time, but this thing, I've been suffering with this for, a while, like almost 4 years. I've actually only started self improvement, like the real self improvement, about a year back, right? But then, even though I have all this knowledge, I'm not able to implement it, and that's a huge problem for me right now. So this video is not like a solution video. I hope I can do that in the future. I really do, but for now it's just a rant. Like, and I hope like if like the one or two viewers who are going to see this, like comment below, tell me what I should do. Uh, if you face the similar issues like this in your life, and any words of advice that would be good. In case you have any problems with building habits though, like you could also just message me on Discord or send a comment. I'll try to help you with that because I become really good at like making new habits. Like in this last year, I've been taking a daily practice test for my academics because that's really important for me. Every single day, like every day, I've been going to the gym 6 days a week. I've been reading, I've been praying, I've been reading the Quran, I've been doing all these things. I've been typing, I've been meditating. Like now, like if you give me a good habit right now, I can probably implement it in like 10 days and just do it every day. It is no issue for me. But this breaking habit thing, I just still need to think about it, still polish off the edges. So hopefully, yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant. It felt really good, rather like just venting out, and hopefully I'll get some insight. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like that. That's like a Hamza line, but I'm just copying that. But bye bye.